And we are live. It is 5:15 p.m. Eastern, 2:15 p.m. Pacific. It is Canada Day here in Canada. Happy Canada Day, everybody out there. Welcome to NasCanucks live NASCAR podcast presented by Vibrant. I'm Ben, and this is my cousin Doug.
Oh, we now have a sponsor. Show like four.
Yeah.
Being a sponsor.
Yeah. You know, I was out there beating the bushes there, and we were able to pick up a sponsor, to get us through it at least till next week, and we'll see how it goes from there. And so, welcome on board Vibrant for all your custom printing needs.
Is it on the hood, quarter panel?
You know what? I figured, better than having that blank hood. Let's just throw them right on the hood, regardless, and why not?
Or should we
hopefully, if it goes well, he'll be doing full car wraps for us, right?
Well, could he be on the door and we'll put the number on the rear quarter panel?
We could do that too.
Piss off some people.
Hey, we're Canadian.
Yeah. It's allowed. Pinty's allows it. We're
exactly.
all good.
So, no midweek racing again this week.
No.
But, man, we had a weekend last weekend in the Pocono Mountains there in Pennsylvania. One of the closer tracks for us, geography-wise, I guess. And I know a lot of guys that used to go down there years ago. And starting on Friday, we started with the ARCA series, where we got to see grandson of Joe Gibbs, young Ty Gibbs himself, take the checkered flag.
Yep.
And he had a pretty dominant car. All honesty, it was a 5-car race from the start. You know what? I remember messaging you. I'm like, well, they're starting 19 cars, 5 of which are more than 10 seconds a lap off the pace.
Yeah, I was away, so the recording didn't record the race, so I had a weekend of view. So I had to quickly, I had to listen to the race on the radio. Not the ARCA race, but the Cup race, the truck race, the Xfinity race, and then got to watch a bit of the Cup race on Sunday. But yeah.
So you did it old school. Most of your race knowledge was on the radio, and you get somewhat race coverage for the main event.
Yeah, it was. They were all very close races, from what Dave Moody was telling me.
Yeah, that's what I saw. So yeah, then unfortunately the truck race was rained out Saturday morning. So immediately they said, hey, I guess we'll be lunchtime Saturday it was supposed to run, and they just said, screw it. You're going to run breakfast time tomorrow, so we'll do that. And then we had the Cup guys get out there on Saturday, and man, that was quite the race. It's always fun at the Tricky Triangle.
Yeah. It like I said, it sounded like it was just like an amazing race on the radio. A lot of everyone always does the pit strategy there anyway. Are we going to do 2 stops? Are we going to do 3? Shorter race this time, so what are we going to do? And it seemed like it was a lot of covers and doors.
Those, and me, like a lot of people, Pocono, that's a boring race, like Michigan, all that stuff. But the way I see it, it's not a driver's track. That's a team race. Like it's like we see in open wheel racing a lot of team strategy, like saying with fuel, tire management, stuff like that. And inevitably, you always have those guys like a leader that's running 5 seconds off the pace or something, quite often happens at tracks like Pocono. And that's the great stuff, because why not? So let's go for it. And Harvick came home and took the checkered flag there.
Yep. Going with the old Harvick old school here tonight. Here at the banner, which was probably our first race we got this down in Charlotte that we went together.
Correct.
Yes.
I think I have one of those somewhere, although I may have given it away. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I know you grabbed one as well.
Yeah. I don't know what happened to it. So, then getting into Sunday, at 9:30 a.m., they dropped the green flag on the truck series.
Yep.
And that was, there was a bit of a theme all weekend. First lap.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we didn't want to start that first lap. Let's do that again.
No. Most of the time, the first lap not only was a caution, usually led to a red flag.
Yeah.
And they were doing that a lot on Sunday, I noticed, too. They were just doing red flags a lot. Just stop the race, get it cleaned up, boom. And, that truck race was really good. And the winner of the truck race was?
Brandon Jones of the Kyle Busch motorsports truck. So that went. Harvick kind of spoiled it there on Saturday, like you'd said. You had, Denny finishing second there, so it could have almost been a Joe Gibbs aligned 3 for 3 there, except for Kevin
Harvick. Yeah. Yeah, and Brandon enjoyed that victory so much.
For about 5 minutes, and classic checkers and wreckers. He certainly did that.
Yeah, speaking of first lap cautions.
Yep. He brought that first lap.
Yeah.
Turn 2, I believe. He just kind of got around and then there was, I forget now who it was. Someone did start leaking some oil or something on the track in turn 2 there, because that became like especially in the Xfinity race, that became
Calamity Corner. Yeah. Yeah, it reminded me a lot of the tunnel turn in the 80s.
Well, I know. Like I said, I'm listening to it on the radio, and Dave Moody up in turn 2 there was kind of like, he felt like he was on the old beach course in Daytona, because there was so much dust and that down from the speedy dry they put down. He's like, it's a beach down here.
Yep. Yeah, it was some wild stuff. And Chase Briscoe, my God, he was driving the wheels off that car. And they got down towards the end of the race. He's leading the race. Somehow gets a left rear flat and doesn't hit anything.
No.
Was able to come in, get that tire fixed, battle back to the lead again, then have a caution come out.
Yeah.
And then managed to take home the checker flag. He earned it. He earned that one. He had a good car, but he earned that one. And then that took us into the main event Sunday. Where we had another 350, was it miles, kilometers? I don't know. It was the 350.
A little longer than Saturday. So they're saying it's maybe a bit different strategy than Saturday, because you're running that a little bit longer, but
different for stages too is interesting. It wasn't the usual first and second stage with the same amount of laps. It was a 30 lap stage, then a 55 lap stage, which I kind of dug. I like that. Although I don't like the stage race to begin with, but at least that way it seems like short track, where it's 2 qualifiers and a long feature race, unlike the race that we love to attend, being the 600, where they divvy it up exactly into quarters. Yeah. And I hate that. Like, come on.
Well,
yeah. Hey, we got Mark Taft tuning in. Howdy, Mark. Happy Canada Day to you. Yes.
Yeah, so then that came another fuel mileage strategy, and
as well as we have a theme all this season. We did have some delays for weather on the main event as well.
Yeah, because it's got to rain. I think it's the year of rain, so it's
Yep.
Yes, we had that little bit of stoppage, and then then the fuel mileage. Denny, I wasn't sure about that strategy that they pulled at the end, like just hammer down and go. And it's like, then Harvick got those new tires, and then Harvick started.
Then he said, "Screw it, we got enough of a lead that we could afford to grab 2 tires as well."
But Harvick started creeping up there, and then he got in traffic, and then you kind of watched him that he was at 33 seconds back, and all of a sudden he was like, it's 29, and I'm like, oh my God, that's 1 lap he's picked up. That was 4 seconds, and then he got out of that traffic, got into clean air. Harvick then ran into it, and all of a sudden he's back 35 seconds back. Denny picks up that, Denny then comes in, and he had enough of a cushion that he was able to keep going. And then, even I think I heard Rodney Childers yesterday, I want to say it was, saying, he said, we could have had them, but then they got those fresher tires at the end there, and they were gone.
Yeah.
So
and Keselowski was trying to make a bit of a show of it too, but he had to pit really late for gas and go with 4 to go. So unfortunately,
Truex is trying to do that as well too, and they fell back a bit. And
but we did see a wild finish for 7th.
Well, I was going to say that the first and second was kind of anticlimactic, but Boyer again making it a little.
Do we? I think I still have video of that. Should we risk trying to play it on here?
Sure, we can. You can give it a try.
All right, let's see. Where did I put that now?
It'll be right there.
Hang on.
This will be the caution part of the show here. While you're looking for it, because we'll just it's our rain delay show here.
Yeah. But, here we are. All right. So let's rewind it. For some reason, I can't rewind it because I'm a moron.
Yeah.
Let's open it up again and hang on. We'll solo myself out here. This is for 8th place, folks.
8th place. So you got Bowman coming in there. He's going to finish 7th. And going for 8th there is just Boyer and Bowman. Just hammering it out there. And, yeah. And if you listen to the broadcast, that as I say, that Hendrick cheerleader that is in the that's in the booth, you know, he was kind of calling Bowman, and it's like, you know.
Yeah. No.
I can use my contacts if you want to use my glasses to see who actually did win that, because
exactly.
You can see.
Hey, we're gonna give a shout out. We got Bent Tom in the chat as well. Good to see you, man. Happy Canada Day. So Mark Taft asked, he goes, okay, now who do I cheer for in the Cup Series? My favorites have retired or passed on. Mark, because I know the type of drivers you like, check out Ryan Blaney.
If you like Ben's mustache, check out Ryan Blaney. Because we're not sure how much longer he's going to have it once Penske can get back at the track.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, it could be this weekend because they're running Indy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of which.
So, yeah. So.
There we go.
So, yeah. So, Denny wins the second race. Harvick finishes second. They just kind of flip-flopped.
They did the flip. Yep. No conspiracy there. No,
not at all.
And with his 6th win at Pocono, that Denny ties for the all-time win record at Pocono with the Hendrick fanboy in the booth.
Yes. Yeah.
Which he really didn't want to acknowledge the fact that Denny joined him in that.
No.
Because the media goes, well, you know, it's a lot easier when you win the first 2 your rookie year. It was like, yeah, the fact he won Pocono, he swept Pocono his rookie season. You didn't do that, Bubba Lou.
No. No. But we'll talk more about him a little later on, I think.
Yeah.
So, Canada Day.
Yes.
Topic of the day: Canadians in NASCAR.
Canadians in NASCAR, and we're going to talk
about this earlier.
Are we going to stick to the Cup Series?
I know more that have been around, right? Because you're kind of the younger guy that knows older, and I'm the older guy that knows sooner, I guess, or younger, whatever.
Sure.
So I think we can go anything because, like I said, I know some guys. My list are kind of guys that aren't drivers as well.
Yep. All right. Well, so let's name some good old Canadian boys that decide to dip their toe into NASCAR.
Well, I'm going to go first. I'm going to go with the guy that went to school down the street here,
who probably made the biggest impact on NASCAR as a Canadian.
And who kind of helped my driver get out because he was like night and day from that stooge he had as a crew chief before Cole came along. And that's Cole Pern, who's from Strathroy, which I got the not the pleasure, but I got to spend a night in the hospital there, not for any kind of reasons in Strathroy, but whatever. So the London area, he raced CASCAR. He went to school at University of Waterloo here, and then went on to be an engineer. I think he started off with Richard Childress, then went to Furniture Row. Then once Todd Barrier finally actually laid in a bed because he was asleep at every race, I think. They got rid of him and brought Cole in, and all of a sudden they just clicked. Him and Truex, it was just like it was on. And then up until he decided to buy the ski slope, the winter here, and he's now managing a ski resort in BC. But I think Cole Pern has got to be the top for me because he's a great guy. And so now I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to get Truex to win a 600 when we're down there, because both times he won the 600, I met up with Cole and talked to Cole the morning of. And so I got to try and.
Yeah, we'll figure something out for that.
Yeah,
I'm going to go. Okay, now I'm going to go old school because we want to go for big names. We'll go for the 1974 Rookie of the Year in the Cup Series, and that would be Mr. Earl Ross.
Which I will be in his hometown beginning of August.
There we are.
Yeah.
All right. Hit me up with another one, Doug.
Well, my other one is another non-driver who made another guy who's made a big impact. You want to say big impact? He's in the spot to make a big impact. Is Mike Helton retires, and Brent Dewar out of New Brunswick pops in as president of NASCAR.
Yeah,
he had a Canadian, actually,
running,
for all intents and purposes, running NASCAR,
running the sanctioning body. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go with, now I always mix them up because we got the two brothers, but one stayed in Canada and one moved south. Is it Marty Gaunt that moved south?
I think so.
Okay, well, we'll go with Marty. If not, it was Marty's brother.
Well, it's
moved
still
down to Mooresville. Yeah, he moved down there in the, I want to say, early 90s and started working in various engine departments, hooked up. He was a big player in the whole TRD, doing the development of the Toyota race engine. And in the last few years, he's fielded a car either part-time and sometimes full-time, on and off, in the Cup Series for Gaunt Racing. And he'll usually bring along a Canadian driver when possible into the series, using his brother's team in the Pinty Series as a feeder system. And and he's always had a great rep. Gaunt was building a lot of motors for the Canadian Series down there and have them shipped back, and he's done a lot of development as well. So, good Canadian boy.
Yeah. And then I'm going to go another non-driver, another good Canadian boy who had your boys back.
Yes.
Mr. Boyer's back a few years ago. Name you're not going to know right off the bat is Sean Pete, who is now the crew chief coach for Chip Ganassi Racing. But he was around with some of the other teams. He was with Michael Waltrip Racing.
Yep.
On the 15 team for Clint Boyer when Mr. Hendrick fanboy, we'll call him, that he took
out Rainbow Warrior.
Yeah, took out Clint in Phoenix. Clinton was running for the championship, was running second to Jimmy Johnson. Gordon didn't like something on the track, so Gordon then takes out on the caution lap, takes Boyer out. Yeah. And as we've always said, we got we deal in facts, but
yep.
Clint's chasing Jimmy Johnson there for that championship. Gordon, down as the owner of that 48 team.
If you look at the paperwork, he is listed as the owner of the 48 at that time.
And he takes out the closest competitor to Jimmy that's running for the championship. So
heading into the final event.
Exactly. So go after Wrexham. Gordon goes into the garage.
He went straight to his hauler. Yeah. Didn't even get to the garage. Yeah.
And the 15 crew, led by the Canadian, the former hockey player, actually enforcer as well, Sean Pete, went after him and started trying to get to Jeff Gordon. So you got to like him, hockey player, pit crew guy, leads the team in, the captain, I guess you'll call him, leads the team going after the other guy when he takes out.
Yeah, he led the charge there. It was like Braveheart. It was great.
And we got to see that Clint does know how to run.
So I can think of off the top of my head probably at least a dozen Canadian drivers that have spent some time in the Cup Series, as well as we'll say even the Big Three Series. So I'm going to go with one who taught a lot of drivers how to drive as well. He's also partial owner of Canadian Motorsports Park, I believe, Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, maybe, because that changes year to year with that ownership group.
They always bring him on as the owner.
Yeah, he, or at least an ambassador for the track. The man dominated in any series he ever raced at Watkins Glen, and we're talking about Ron Fellows, who, as a child, I knew him as the youngest of the Fellows brothers racing family, because I believe there was 3 Fellows that ran in the old Canadian Tire series, which was our version of IROC, where they ran showroom stock IROC Camaros. They didn't even have them modified like the IROC series in the US. They ran showroom stock IROCs.
Yeah. And so another kid that he was in the truck series. I know his dad was his sponsor. I haven't seen him this year at all. And he was out of Calgary, I believe, in the truck series. It was Cameron Haley. He was starting to get up there. He was starting to actually get some finishes. Yep. But then who's just kind of, falling off. I'm not sure just where he's at now. Yep. But he was a good up and young driver that I had seen in the truck series.
Yeah, I'll go with another driver that spent some time recently at truck series and now is in the Xfinity series, and that'd be Alex Labbé out of Quebec, driving for Mario Gosselin. And although is Mario actually Canadian as well?
I'm not sure.
I got to look that up, folks, because we got to throw Mario Gosselin because he ran for decades. He was kind of a back marker field filler, ran his own team, that kind of Jimmy Means type guy, Junie Don Levy type equipment.
Yeah.
Don't we love the internet, folks?
Yeah, and then there's been a bunch of drivers out of Quebec who have tried to come in.
It comes up as Canadian race car driver, so there we are.
Yeah.
Right.
And do some stuff in NASCAR.
So we could talk about all the former Canadian open wheelers that have dipped their toes in NASCAR.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when they run Canadian dates. But even, I'm not even going to necessarily take the Canadian ringers that ran, say, Montreal or Mosport. But even, that did get to dip their toe down south. Everyone from Jacques Villeneuve, Andrew Ranger, limited wise. And then you had guys like Carpentier, Tagliani. They all actually were trying to run full schedules. Yeah. Yeah. At one time or another.
Then you've got guys like DJ Kennington out of St. Thomas.
Kennington, who ran for years on a part-time schedule.
Yeah, snowplow operator, and then also drives.
He damn near won a race in Daytona in either the Xfinity or Truck Series, based on race strategy.
I want to say that I think that was in the Truck Series at Daytona.
Yeah, because he had run top 10 all day, a real smart race, and then towards the end, based on strategy and other things, and then the rest of the field going, let's work with this guy because he's got a decent piece of equipment.
Yep.
That was definitely, J.R. Fitzpatrick, same deal. He was doing it right around the same time.
Another local guy to hear. He ran for Junior Motorsports. He was a Chance 2 guy for a bit.
Yep. Exactly. And did DJ ran for Junior as well, I believe.
I think so, as well as Ron Fellows.
Ron Fellows, definitely Ron, yeah.
Yeah.
But definitely a group there. I'm just trying to think of actual stock car guys rather than the open wheel guys too that dipped down there over the years.
Yeah.
Well, we did hit a few here.
Yeah. Only other name that would you've got Stuart Friesen, but he's another open wheel guy who's in the Truck Series. He won the race at Eldora last year in the Truck Series. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, and we say open wheeler because he started out in dirt modifieds.
Yeah. And if you're gonna not full NASCAR, but if you're gonna talk about a Canadian who's made an impact down south with the dirt, it's got to be Roger Slack at Eldora.
Yeah.
Right? He's still doing big things down there.
Definitely.
He's former racer up here, short tracker up here.
Yep.
So.
Exactly. So that's the nice thing. We've always had quite the long heritage tied in with NASCAR and in Canada, from Canada hosting events, from from the 50s, 60s. Then they had the NASCAR North Series for a while, which kind of morphed into the Busch North Series as a lower tier. But NASCAR North, it was almost like an outlaw, almost like the ARCA Series, but a northern division.
Mm-hmm.
It was just never really promoted, or maybe like Winston West, I guess.
And the other nice thing too now is that the Pinty Series is actually getting some airtime with a race in New Hampshire.
Yes. I just thought of two more, father and son, that have competed in a variety of NASCAR races, both like Texas and mainly Phoenix, and that would be the Haars out of North End Edmonton, Carl and his son Daryl.
Yeah, and and we're just talking about people that are kind of in the limelight a bit, but there's a ton of guys that are still working in race shops and stuff down there.
Yeah, we were talking off air earlier, and I wish I could remember his name, but it was a guy who went to my school. I think he was about 2, maybe 3 years ahead of me, and he was back home visiting my last year of high school, and he had already been working at Morgan McClure, I think, for 3 years, because he graduated and was gone like the next day type thing, and he just showed up at Morgan McClure and started sweeping floors, and 3 years later he's hanging bodies on at that time would have been Sterling Marlin's car.
Yeah. And we're not even going to get into that one other guy that likes to keep saying that he's like 1/18th Canadian.
Oh.
Because I think he's full of BS.
Oh, I got one of his autographed cars here for you.
Yeah. No, it's okay.
Yeah, it's funny how he's like 1/18th Canadian, but his brother isn't.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, like I said, we won't even mention him. But
no,
because I've had to put up with that as following a driver that had to race for him for a bit.
Yeah, me too.
Then get the shaft.
Yep, me too.
No. But it was, we're going to give him credit. It was one of the nicest race shops we've been in, but still.
Yeah. Yeah, it's too bad all the money went into the race shop and not into crew chiefs.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, other than they had Brian Patty there for a while. He was pretty good for a while.
Yeah. But yeah, Truex had a bunch of guys I don't even remember. Actually, no, he did. He did have Chad Johnson there for a bit, who went on to, heck, who's he with now? Is he now? Because he was with Kyle Larson.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he may have stuck on and is with Kenseth now.
Maybe. Then. Yeah, because I'm thinking he wouldn't have stuck with Kyle Larson.
Yeah, no.
I don't know how to set these things up.
Yeah.
Torsion bar suspension. What the hell is that? I'm used to coil over.
Yeah. But yeah, so.
Yeah, so anybody that's watching, if you have any questions or comments, definitely ask away. So this coming weekend, it's the 4th of July weekend in the United States. So they're running at Indy.
Yep.
And so what is the calendar looking like for this weekend? I didn't look. I just know that they're going to Indy. I don't know who's racing. I heard something. They may be doing both road course and oval.
Yeah, they were going to do the road course for the Xfinity guys. So I want to say the Saturday is, don't get me wrong, I think even Saturday may be Xfinity and Indy cars running the road course at Indy. Saturday.
That could be right. Yep.
And then the Cup guys going on Sunday on the big track.
Nice.
So, and the other thing is, do not look for the race on Fox. The race was on NBC this weekend. Then they're going to switch back to Fox for Kentucky and the All-Star race. Then switch back to NBC just because NBC had the
they have the rights to Indy,
and so Indy was going to get that 4th of July weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, so that should definitely be some good coverage and a breath of fresh air in the booth.
Yes, we got Dale Jr. And you know what? Say what you want about Kyle Petty. I will listen to him talk anytime.
I'll listen to him over a lot of other people.
Yeah.
And on a personal level, we can say with Kyle, having interacted with a variety of former drivers,
Yeah. Oh, Kyle.
I will say Kyle Petty was one of the most down to earth, cool cats. Hell, we're talking barbecues with the guy.
Oh yeah, like he was. He could have cared less about the racing. He just wanted to talk to T-Bone about his barbecue. That's all. That's all he wanted.
Yeah, he was talking to T-Bone about barbecue, and I think I pulled out my guitar for him.
Yeah.
So, and then we offered him to have a jam over by the campsite, and he's like, "That's too nice a guitar. I don't want to do that."
Yeah, but it's he's by far the best one. It's cool when you get guys like that because he was fine to sit there and sign autographs and just talk to people as well. And it's it's one of those cool things that we got the chance just because it's and I'm gonna say we are lucky that we know kind of the right people to get that.
And part of that was, and we'll sponsor them this week. That was because Coca-Cola were the folks that put on that event.
I'm kind of doing that as well too here.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Coke's always treated us right. Pepsi hasn't done shit for me, so.
No, and we may show the picture later on, but when we have the Coke girls driving right up to our camper and delivering off cases of Coke for us, hey.
Yeah, and is there anything you need? Anything at all, just don't hesitate to ask, and
just keep driving and giving us that free cases of Coke, and we'll be more than happy.
Exactly.
And also too, we got sorry for the Americans down there, but I am the two-time defending trivia champion on Memorial Day weekend down there.
Yep.
For a Coke. Now I will say I did have help because I know some of those other people will be watching, and they did a good job helping as well too. But yeah.
Yeah, I remember you usually would pull me in on that one too, just in case just in case it's some weird reference from like the 1963 Southern 500. I'm like, all right, if it's from the 50s, worst case, guess one of the Flock brothers.
Yeah. But yeah, that's and that's why you got that race because there's just so much fun stuff to do down in Charlotte. That race 600 does a lot of stuff. So
yeah. Well, just let alone anyone that's seen an overhead shot of Charlotte Motor Speedway, and they have the 8th Mile Legends track on the front stretch, and the back stretch of it is the pit road. That the first number of years that we were there. And they only stopped doing it because of the hassle of cleanup afterwards. They used to run a barbecue around that whole 8th mile circle track with free food on Fridays. And I think they only stopped doing it because the amount of grease that would get dripped down on the ground.
And and you used to be able to do that track walk. You'd walk around the mile and a half track.
Yeah, which I never did because I really don't see the point of walking a mile and a half in the circle.
No.
Nope. We do know people that have done it and then bitched about it afterwards. I'm like, well, you know what? You walked a mile and a half in flip-flops. Dumbass.
Yeah. Yeah. But
hey, and I hope they're watching.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's a no. But anyway.
This will be the last podcast they watch.
Yeah. But no, it's a fun thing to do, and we get and that's our other fun thing as well is when we're down at the race, looking for those other Canadian flags.
Yes.
Right? I think probably some of our best times is when we were walking up the All-Star race. We ended up seeing people with Toronto Raptors flag. Ended up being some people.
Remember, I saw it first, but the problem was I was piss drunk and had to go to the go to take a piss, and I walk along and I see the We the North, and all of a sudden it didn't even dawn on me at first. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
And then I stopped in and started talking to them, and then that's when you came. I think came looking for me because dinner was ready or something. And you're like, I'm like, hey, you're like, what's going on here? I'm like,
yeah,
locals.
Yeah, like I know, the one year you didn't come down, and I was camped outside of Turn 4 for the All Star race, and I
Right.
had people from like Saskatchewan, and it was just like a whole bunch of Canadians just in that area, and it's just crazy,
Yep.
So it's.
Mr. Mark Taft says, I want to go to Charlotte, North Carolina with you guys someday.
I think there's a lineup. I think we should start charging.
We might have to, especially if we're giving like VIP tours. Because let's be honest, if you're tagging along with us, you're going to go on at least one, if not 3 adventures that your average Joe will not get to do.
Yeah, and it's
and one of which is just a trip to the man cave, because that's not a public place.
Yeah, the man cave is probably. It can be number one because you're going to make a couple trips there, but it's we should almost have the NasCanucks tour that we bring people down.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
But yeah, it's we get into some adventures. Never same trip is never done twice.
That's true. It's a different adventure every year. Some things are the same as tradition, but other things it's just random because you can only plan ahead so much, and it's best when you don't make those plans.
No, and I'm not sure. I don't think we have talked about it in any of the 4 episodes yet.
Mm-hmm.
Would be the time I almost got divorced down in Charlotte. You had forgot about that. It was a thing where another person watching was involved in that as well too. So leading up to it, my wife didn't want to. She was going to go, didn't want to go. Then she seen that Channing Tatum was going to be the name just slipped my mind what he was going to be.
Brain Marshall?
That'd be it. Yeah, and she was like, "Oh, I'll go," but then she's like, "Well, you know what? We're not going to see him anyway, right? Because he's going to be down on pit road. We're not going to see him."
No, because we're never down there. Because all the vets use the passes down during that time frame or what have you, or we give them away because we don't need to be down there for that.
Yeah. So she's like, even so, you're not going to get close to him.
Yeah, you're just going to see him on the big screen.
Yeah, and so it's. You're not going to see him. So then, that morning, you had forgotten about it.
Totally
forgotten about it. You.
Well, I wasn't sober when the Speedway officials approached me, and I wasn't sober when it happened.
Yeah. So they told you. They just asked if it was okay for someone to come by during the race.
Yes.
Right. So there was that, and you said yes. So then so during the race, the black car shows up, and I'm talking about. I can't find the picture of it here.
Yeah, I was just looking too.
The black car shows up, and
I don't know. Did I share it this year?
I'm not sure. Well, there's the picture that I did take that I found here. So the black cars, couple of black cars show up, and then out steps Channing Tatum at our campsite. So then I have this picture here where I sent this picture to my wife. I was like, hey, look who's at our campsite. And I'll just kind of, I don't know if you can see it there.
I'll do a solo layout.
There's me kind of peeking, him in the background, right? So he shows up to our campsite. A friend of ours, Amy, who wasn't at the campsite at that time, I went around the corner of our camper because I know, Amy, you're watching. I know you love this story. I went around our camper and I was kind of telling her, like, I'm doing this and I'm doing this and I'm doing this more. And she's like, huh? So I had to walk over to her where she was sitting in her vehicle with her windows rolled up, AC on, just because she was, I want to say 29 weeks pregnant, somewhere around there. And she was in the AC. So I then had to go to her vehicle and tell her, hey, Channing Tatum's at the campsite. And that's probably the only foot race I've lost to a 29-week-old pregnant lady. And there's There's
There he is with our buddy Mike.
almost shirtless Ben in the background.
Yeah, let's see if we can get there. We go.
Yeah, there we go. So so she then beats me in a race back to the campsite.
Yes, she did. I've never, and I'll be honest, that's the fastest I've ever seen a pregnant woman move.
Yeah, and so then so it's and that got to be
the flying.
So he's doing and he shows up with hey, when you're gonna go to a campsite with like 60 wounded warriors, it's always good to bring a 12-pack of Coors Light because that's gonna go over well, only that much. But yeah. So
which I believe all 12 were still in the barrel at the end of the night.
They were, yes, all 12 Coors Light were still in the barrel.
Or there might have been 11 because someone may have grabbed one by mistake.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think they were more inclined to grab our little torpedoes that we'd throw in there because we actually threw Canadian beer in there mixed in, same color cans as the rest of them. Like, we think we threw the Canadian Labatt Blue in there.
Yeah, we always throw Canadian cans of Labatt's Blue in the barrel of light beer, which is always Blue Lights. Yeah. So you just see a blue can, grab it.
But it was all Bud Light. So the cans kind of look similar until the guy cracks one and he's actually drinking beer and not water. But yeah, so there's that there. So I sent I sent that picture to my wife and
I remember that. You fool.
There was some stuff that I cannot repeat on the show here that I got back. Yeah. But yeah. So he, like I said, he was doing promotion for the Logan Lucky movie. So he then put out video of it later on of showing up at the campsite. And you're in that video. I'm not, but my camper is front and center with some of his pictures.
And as a result of him showing up, the local newspaper had run a story to which somebody from our group of friends had posted on Facebook and tagged, I know me for sure in it, because remember I had a jam session to go to the day I got back, a band rehearsal / jam session. And normally there was, because it was an open practice, open to the public or friends, whatever you want to call it. And generally there'd be half a dozen people there as well as the band. And there was like 9 women there. And for some reason, because they all, so tell us about your trip to Charlotte.
Well, and that's the thing, you kind of sit back and laugh because you got all these women that are flocking to him. And then you've got all these wounded warriors who are all like combat vets just kind of sitting there like, I could take him. And that's what they were saying because really, he wasn't that big of a guy.
No, he came up to about there on me.
Exactly. He's not that big of a guy. So
I thought I could take him and he's muscular.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, and that's the one thing that you talk to everyone like, oh yeah, I got to meet Channing Tatum, show the picture, like, hey, my friend Channing, but he's a really small, short little guy. I'm like, oh, well, he looks so big in movies. I was like, that's the magic of cinema.
Stand on crates.
Yeah.
Movie magic.
But yeah, so that's another story that goes down. I know, Amy, if you're watching, I know you always like to have that story, talk about that story. But and I remember Mike there, who was in the foreground in the photo I showed, saying, "Who is he?" Yeah, he's a movie star. He was actually at the grill, and he was like, "Tell him to go away. Tell him to screw off. I'm busy. I don't want to talk to him."
Yeah, he's like, "Who is he?" I'm like, "He's a Hollywood movie star." He goes, "One of those guys from California?" I'm like, "Yes, Mike. He's probably a liberal." Yeah, probably is, Mike. Yeah. Well, I better go say hi. Yes, you should, Mike.
Yeah. So
basically, they're holding up the race because I think didn't Fox and stuff, they probably showed that during the race or something because there was some TV cameras there.
Yeah, I think that was doing that filming for Logan Lucky because he went to about 3 different campsites there.
Right.
On there, but it's So Ben was the first one to know about it. He forgot about it, and then he then didn't let anyone else know this was happening. So this was
probably because I forgot within 30 seconds of them telling me. They literally told me they got in their vehicle and left, and somebody immediately walked up to me and said, "Who was that?" I'm like, "I don't know."
Yeah. And then he sat there for the rest of the day for another 8 hours, not saying anything, and then all of a sudden,
no, because that happened during the race on Sunday, and I'd known about it since Thursday.
Okay, so that's more than
Yeah, it was either Thursday or Friday morning they came by. It was first thing because it was right after breakfast. There wasn't a ton of people. Everyone had dissipated. It was just me and Trent hanging out by the barbecue.
Yep.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yep.
Then the black SUV showed up and the officials got out. And all of a sudden, you speaking of large people that can move fast. Because he disappeared. There was a Trent-shaped cloud of next to me, and all of a sudden they're like, "Are you in charge?" And I looked around, and all there was me and tumbleweeds. I went, "I guess so, sure." And then I set up that apparently, and then they left, and I went, okay. And I remember long enough to thinking I should probably tell Mike about that, and then
other people took credit for it.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
that's another story.
Yeah, well, we don't have to worry about him because all he cares about is local racing, anyways.
Yep, and himself. But
clearly.
I didn't say that. Anyway, so yeah.
I just remember when his wife showed up at the truck. He's your problem now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
And Trent, Sam, and Mike all sitting at one of the lunch tables, and they're just pissing themselves laughing because I think they had a pool going.
Yeah.
Because they thought we were going to throttle him days earlier and kick him out.
Yeah.
Because Mike was expecting the phone call. Can I come sleep in the man cave? The Canadians kicked me out.
Well, anyway, we won't get in there, but it's still good.
Yep.
But yeah, so this weekend I'll be doing another. Hopefully all the record will work because it looks like I'm going to be going away again.
Okay.
Yeah, trying to find some, once now that stuff's open, it's using the camper again, trying to get into that. And our friends everyone's kind of looking for campsites to go to. And we got a message saying, hey, there's some room at this one campsite, except I'm not sure if he was joking. I think he was probably joking because, it's a naturalist campsite.
Oh.
Campground. Yeah.
Yeah.
It
sounds good at first, but really, it's not.
What's the website? Oh, it's called Bear Oaks. Oh, it's that kind of naturalist website. Okay. I mean, campsite.
I know that place. Rich was in a band, and they asked his band to perform there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. He was down.
No, well, we're not going there.
Yeah. Well, it was clothing optional for the band, and Rich said, yeah, I'll do it. I got a guitar to hang at a certain height. When you
go to the website and it's just two old guys' asses in front, I'm not going to that campsite. So we're going to another one now, just outside of Hamilton. So I will have the pleasure, while hopefully they have Wi-Fi there, where I can be able to listen to the race on Saturday. But I'll be listening to the race while actually having real race car sounds because Flamborough Speedway is just a stone's throw away from this campground.
And are they open again?
They are open, and I think this is week 4 for them.
Okay.
But no fans. So I will be hearing those sounds. So it'll be almost like being at the race while listening to the radio.
I found out Cornwall, east of here, right at the Quebec border, is back running its quarter-mile dirt track. However, you get in a lot of trouble at that track if you decide to go live.
Oh, yeah?
They don't let people live stream from the track, which at first I thought was a little odd. And then I remember the handful of times I've attended races at that track. Bunch of dirty-ass drivers. They don't want that getting out public. Yeah, I'm talking about you drivers of Cornwall Speedway. Bunch of dirty-ass drivers. It's a demolition derby in the form of an oval track race. They don't want that getting out there because none of the out-of-towners would show up.
Mm-hmm.
So there we are on that.
Yeah.
Well, we went over again on time again this week. Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah,
it happens.
I think that's another theme.
Well, if NASCAR, and we can include ARCA because NASCAR owns ARCA anyway. So if they're going to run 5 times a week, we're going to have to do a little overtime.
Yeah. I'm not saying that I'm not okay with it, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. Exactly. Well, so let's see if they are going to run. Let's just say for the shits and giggles, because we don't know exactly. If they're going to run both the road course and the oval in the Cup Series, pick a couple winners.
No, it's only Xfinity.
Oh, okay. Okay, so just the oval for the Cup
race this weekend, yeah.
All right, so who are you taking?
I'm going to say Harvick is still dominant.
I was thinking Harvick too.
I'm going to go with Harvick.
All right. I'm going to go with Hamlin.
Shocker. But no, I think those two guys are Hamlin's leading in wins.
Hey,
I think he's got 4 wins now.
Those two guys were dominant driving through the tunnel turn at Pocono, and we just have the tunnel turn times 4 at Indy, right? So, yeah, we're going with a couple safe bets this week, folks.
Yeah, it's
and this would be the first episode where you didn't pick Truex as one of your winners.
Yeah, no, I want to. He's still struggling. He's got his win, so he's in the playoffs, so he's in safe. But it's just I want it's still the first year with James, and he was the engineer for Cole, so he's kind of got that familiarity. But it's still his. I'd like to see a bit more. Like it's just I've kind of stuck up for him for a bit there when people are really getting on him, and I'm gonna if I'm being honest, him coming out after the race saying sorry, we got it, we'll do better next time. We've got to stop doing that, and we've got to get I want a little more Kyle Busch and Adam in there, right? Kyle and Adam show where you know what? Get pissed off. Don't be happy with not winning.
Exactly.
You want to win.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I see that hunger with Hamlin right now. He's running really strong and aggressive. So I'm going to go with, definitely Hamlin this week. So as we wrap up, anything to add on this Canada Day special? Happy 153 to Canada.
Yeah, that's it. Just everyone just keep staying safe. Hopefully we'll, out of this here soon. I'm not sure. I see that we won't be going anywhere south of the border till it's closing down till the 31st of July.
And possibly through the end of 2020 is the prediction now.
Yeah, so
there we are.
Our little bubble up here, so
exactly. So there we go, folks. Enjoy the racing this weekend from Indy. If you're watching on replay and have any questions for either of us, definitely leave them in the comments down below. On behalf of Doug and myself, thanks for tuning in to NasCanucks presented by Vibraprint. And cheers. Have yourselves a great and safe holiday, and be well, folks.
See ya.